Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers. Big up to anybody new locked in. Gratitude to you. Let's get right into the video. Tim Tszyu. He has got a fantastic, sophisticated, subtle offense.
You see where their front feet are. And wow, another sniper like another right hand lands and
he is a pressure fighter. He's a front foot counter puncher as well.
Yeah, no. There's a right hand. That one rocked Harrison. Back to the ropes.
He applies both at the same time, really slowly, systematically trying to break you down.
Still, he's not taking any ridiculous risk. Nice punch shot, which hurts him a lot.
Left hook to the body. It hurt Jeff on badly. There's a right hand over the top. He goes down now.
He waits for you to punch so he can counter punch you, and if you don't punch, then he mounts his offense.
Tszyu trying to fill out Harrison. That's why, Harrison had his moments with the jab, but it's that pressure.
His defense is exceptional. I've made a couple of videos about his defense. I will leave the links up here. So, some pundits have said that he doesn't know how to jab or he can't jab. That's not true. He just waits for you to jab because he's not wasting any punches. Then he'll counter punch you.
with a nice counterweight hand from Tszyu and selfie stick.
Then he'll make you think about not jabbing because you haven't been able to land your jabs.
So Tim, you study this, Harrison really well, and this is the rounds where he's gonna press a lot.
Then you get gun shy, then he attacks.
What's my motherfucking name?
The undefeated Tim Tszyu.
Say my motherfucking name.
Boxing. Okay, so let's start with the Mendoza fight. I'm going to pull up quite a bit of footage as I'm talking and just ramble a little bit and try to show you exactly what I'm talking about, because I think his offense is so sophisticated. It's like I was doing so much research on his defense. I didn't really look into his offense, but my goodness, it's a sophisticated offense because he, as I mentioned in the intro, he doesn't waste any punches at all. He's very methodical with it. He's systematically concentrating on his whole game plan, and that's a big part of his whole ethos. Is his concentration is so high. It is elite level concentration, and those elite level fighters have elite level concentration, and he's definitely got that. I've mentioned that in his defense videos where you can just see he's just really relaxed, thinking, and very calculated. But the fact he's putting on the pressure, and his goal is to take your soul. I mean, he's the soul taker, he's very smart too, and he applies that slow, systematic pressure. But as I said, he has that front foot counter punching ability, which is just, a massive string to add to his pristine bow already. Because when you are able to counter punch someone and you're backing them up, you're creating this almost anxiety, because if a fighter can't hit you, then they're getting pressured. Then they'll get gun shy, as I said. They'll shut them down, and then they almost can't defend themselves, because all they're left with is them having to try to defend your punches. And he can punch a little bit. He's a great body puncher.
Body shot, that hurt him, hurt to the body.
Let go with some body shots also. He's a good body puncher. There it is.
And downstairs again goes Tszyu.
And when he gets up close, that's when he starts to really let his hands go. He does throw, I want to say basic combinations. I've said this before, he should never be put in the same bracket as the term basic. But when he's up close, he will do a 1-2 hook or a 1-2 dig to the body. He's a great body puncher. And, but I think his ability to just read his opponents and have the patience.
But look how Tszyu doesn't commit just yet. He's waiting for the right time.
To not go out there and appease the crowd straight away and try to let his hands go and just be impatient with his offense. It's a thought process, and it is an intelligent, violent system. And like I said, given the fact he can counterpunch, and actually let me show you some footage now where he actually caught Mendoza. I think it was like he caught Mendoza with an uppercut.
Oh! uppercut from Tszyu. Here he goes.
And this is another extra layer to his offense, which I think is great. He understands fighters are trying to clinch him as well.
Here he goes. Tim Tszyu.
But because, or they're trying to fight back, but because his defense is so good, he catches Mendoza with an uppercut, and Mendoza is, trying to fight back. And Tim Tszyu's offense is so slick that when you are getting touched up and then you're trying to hit your opponent and there's nothing there, you're basically a sitting duck. And the same with Tony Harrison. I'll pull up some clips where he was getting countered, especially with that right hand. He would throw the right hand. Tim Tszyu would either counter it with an uppercut.
Veteran.
Or he counter it and shoulder roll it and come back with a right uppercut.
There's a right to the body by Tszyu.
This is a tough spot for him, given how important this fight is to his career.
And so then, as I said, when you're backing a fighter up, their thought process is well, if I throw this punch, I might get countered again. So then they don't throw it. So then they tend to pour it out a little bit more because they don't want to overcommit. So then he starts backing them up, and that's when he starts letting his shots go, as I said.
10 seconds left in the round. Mendoza in big trouble. Right hand Tszyu.
And it reminds me of I like to bring analogies into this channel, but that movie Snatch, where the gangsters come into Vinnie Jones's office or wherever he is, and they pull out their replica guns, and he's pretty calm. He's drinking his Guinness, and they're giving it the large, and they're in the the pole position, if you will, and then they start laying out their demands, giving it the flex, which is what a lot of fighters do coming into before they're fighting Tim Tszyu. They talk, they talk the talk, which they should. They believe in themselves.
Well, no matter the outcome, if they cheat me or not, the world gets to see it, man. I'm going in there to do Tony's job, and Tony's job is to kick ass.
But then when things get real and they realize that, Tim Tszyu's got a bigger gun than them,
And the fact that I've got Desert Eagle.
or a realer gun, and I'm trying to mix this analogy up into the actual style that Tim Tszyu has. Then they realize, things aren't quite what they thought they were.
You're having second thoughts.
And the situation starts to go a little bit south.
Yeah, no.
There's a right hand. That one rocked Harrison. Back to the ropes.
And they bumped into the wrong guy. And they realize, maybe it's time to leave, because, when I say leave, not throw any punches and get stopped.
Another right hand, right on the button to Harrison. And a right to the gunner. Harrison's hurt.
Basically, that's where I'm going with that, because your options are pretty bleak. Because his defense is so good, that allows his offense to be as good as it is. Because his defense is so good, that allows his offense to be as good as it is. I think that's a good way of putting it, because the counter punching system he has is so good as well. That allows his front foot pressure fighting ability to be as good as it is as well. But all three combined, he's got all the elements of fighting down. I think maybe if you're talking about a raw inside fighter where you're fighting in the pocket, I haven't watched enough to see that he's very, very good at that. He seems like he can box on the inside. I'm not saying he can't. Don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. I just think if there is an area, that's probably an area where he could really get it to an elite level. But he can bang on the inside a little bit, and especially when fighters are trying to, they're trying to hold him or grab him, he's very good at getting his elbow in there and shooting off uppercuts or breaking, because he's so physically strong. He can break you off and then whack you to the body as well.
Stick by his rules here. I will favour Tim Tszyu.
Because at that point, it's a level of desperation fighters go through, because they can't hit you, they're getting countered, so then they're not sure if they even want to punch you. Then they're getting backed up, and it creates just a massive anxiety. And as I said before, it's like it's something that gives fighters like Tim Tszyu a thrill, seeing his opponent suffer. You know, he said that before. You know,
how do you go about taking a fighter's soul?
Do something, cause pain and grief in their life, especially in that ring.
Do you enjoy that?
Love it.
Inflicting it?
That's what I live for.
It's quite sadistic, to be honest, but it's what you kind of need in that level. It is a gladiator sport. You know, there's a dark side to boxing, and he has that, and he actually, you know, feels that pressure, and then once he has that, once he knows his opponents, it's the same. Cibro Matias, David Benavidez, Beterbiev, they all have that sadistic, physical, rough nature about them, where they really want to hurt you. They want to inflict pain on you, and it's just his style. To me, he's, like I said, he's got all the bases covered. I think, if anything, you know, if he does come across a fighter that is physically inclined to push, let's just say Virgil Ortiz, that would be an absolutely amazing fight. I wouldn't know exactly how that would go. Just I'd pick Tim Tszyu to beat Ortiz, to be honest, but I think there'd be moments where he'd probably have to box off the back foot a little bit, because Virgil Ortiz comes at you and throws bombs. That would be a fascinating fight, just based off of both their styles. But you know, I'm pretty sure Tim Tszyu can box off the back foot a little bit too. He hasn't really needed to, because he's so front foot heavy and so counter punch heavy. I know there's going to be pockets too in his style where he will, you know, be boxing outside of what I'm talking about, like just little patches that don't necessarily fit into here, like 10-20% of, you know, just random fighting and stuff like that. But on the whole, he tries to walk you down. He tries to read you, make you miss, make you pay, or just make you miss, frustrate you, keep walking you down, so then you don't punch, as I said, then mount his attacks. And if you are hesitant, even if you're not on the ropes, or if you have, that's when he jabs, and that's when he gets you, and it's just, you're left with no options but to get hit, basically. But anyway, that is it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. If you are new, hit the subscribe button. I've got loads of videos on the way. And also, I am working on a this piece of music. I was trying to tie it together with Tim Tszyu, but I'm going to see how it works out. Let me know if your thoughts on this piece of music, if you like it. And if you do, I'll have it for a free download with all the vocals. That's it from me. Peace and love. Boxing on the Edge.
What's my motherfucking name?